Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CSE Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Rashid Mahi. And coming up, corporate governance receives a boost as CSE FRC partner. CSE renews commitment to MSME's development. Plus, focus on beneficial ownership disclosure. We will be right back.
Starting a business can be exciting, but it often comes with a mountain of paperwork and significant bureaucracy. But wait, there is an easier and better way. Introducing the new and highly improved CAC's Company Registration Portal, your AI-powered solution to effortlessly register your company and get started on your entrepreneurial and business journey. Thanks to the visionary leadership of Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, SAN, the Registrar General CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, your entrepreneurial and business journey will now be faster, smarter, and hassle-free. With our intelligent AI platform, your business registration journey has become easier. During this first phase of our three-phase deployment of AI, the AI CRP expedites your name availability process, as well as the company registration itself. The AI guides you step by step, ensuring everything is done correctly, with real-time error checking and name suggestions, making it cost-effective for you to achieve name availability and instant registration. Join the future of business registration. Visit www.pre.cac.gov.ng today.
Welcome back. And we start off with corporate governance. The Corporate Affairs Commission and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria have agreed to collaborate to foster interagency synergy for economic growth and good corporate governance. This indication was given during a courtesy call on the Registrar General CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, via the Executive Secretary and CEO of the FRC, Dr. Rabiu Olowo. In his remarks, Olowo believed that the two agencies have a joint responsibility to ensure the success of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018. He lamented incidents where public companies filed supposedly dubious different sets of financial statements to different regulators. Olowo therefore called for joint monitoring and the creation of a single financial statement portal as the two agencies share similar stakeholders. He also stressed the need for the CAC to ensure alignment in the verification and certification of financial statements companies submit to the CAC to comply with the international financial reporting standards. While speaking on the FRC's mandate as regards verification of professionals and firm ownership, Rabiu Olowo said the CAC portal, especially the beneficial ownership register, was critical to discharging their responsibilities. Responding, the Registrar General CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, fellow Chartered Institute of Secretaries and Administrators, described the visit as timely and strategic considering the Commission's ongoing transition to an artificial intelligence registration portal. Magaji maintained that the integration with the FRC was vital to ensuring that credible financial statements were filed by public companies. He therefore stated the Commission's readiness to partner with the FRC, especially in the area of capacity building, among others. CSE Weekly reports that during the engagement, a committee was set up to examine and evaluate potential areas of immediate collaboration with a view to improve corporate governance in the country. From corporate governance, we move to MSME's development. The Corporate Affairs Commission has stated its continued support for the Abuja Enterprise Agency, AEA, to ensure the growth of small businesses in the country. The Registrar General, CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, stated this while receiving the Managing Director of the AEA, Dr. Chudi Ugwada Ezerigwe, in his office. Magaji said the two agencies have enjoyed a long-standing relationship that must be maintained and sustained for the growth of the small and medium enterprises sector of the economy. The Registrar General said the CAC, in view of its commitment to the growth of the MSME sector, stationed a dedicated officer resident at the AEA premises. To further demonstrate support for the growth of the sector, Magaji said registration of enterprises on the CAC portal was now artificial intelligence driven to ensure registration and issuance of certificates within just 10 minutes. As an incentive, the entrepreneurs can do it on their own without going through agents, and the CAC reviewed service fees when effective on 1st September 2025 will not be applicable to the registration of small businesses, Magaji added. He therefore challenged the AEA to further explore partnerships with institutions of higher learning to ensure the registration of students who would graduate as entrepreneurs with ready-made business registered with the CAC. Speaking earlier, the Managing Director of the AEA, Dr. Chudi Ugwada Ezerigwe, applauded the Commission's support to the AEA, which he said had earned it several awards, including a prestigious one recently awarded during the National MSMEs Award ceremony. He highlighted their series of interventions to MSMEs dating back to the COVID-19 era, which recorded over 6,000 beneficiaries. Ezerigwe added that in collaboration with the CAC, it recently successfully completed the registration of 1,000 enterprises and will soon flag up the second phase with another 1,000 target beneficiaries. He further stated that the AEA has incubation centers for nurturing and development of fashion designers, an innovation hub, an auto mechanic training center, as well as running a very profitable youth Corpus program, among others. In appreciation of CAC's support, the MD of the AEA, in the company of the CAC Dex officer, Habubala, presented the award won by the AEA to the Registrar General, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Still talking MSME's development, the CAC Kogi office has paid a sensitization visit to the Confluence University of Science and Technology, Osara, Kogi State. The team stressed the need for the COSTECH to ensure that 8 students register their businesses before graduation to enable them become ready-made entrepreneurs with businesses registered with the CAC. The CAC team, led by the head CAC Kogi Zonal Office, Mr. Paul Odiba, was received by the Vice Chancellor COSTECH, Professor Abdurrahman Asipita Salau, and other executives. We give kudos to the CAC team for preaching entrepreneurship to young Nigerians. It's now time to cross over to our interview segment to discuss CAC's Beneficial Ownership Register, BOR, Disclosure and Compliance. Our guest today is Maimunat Hamu Modi, Assistant Director and Head Status Desk. Sit back, relax, and enjoy watching.
Maimuna Hamumudi, Assistant Director, Registrar General's Office. Many thanks for joining us on the program again.
Thank you for having me once again.
Okay. Today we're discussing the Beneficial Ownership Register, filing and compliance. Before we go into the nitty-gritty, do people really know company owners that they are supposed to file the real owners behind their company as far as this register is concerned?
Okay, I believe there's a high level of awareness at the moment, looking at the level of compliance, the trend in terms of compliance, and then also considering the level of sensitization the CAC has been doing since the reenactment of the Act. So I believe there's a level of high level of compliance, but awareness, but it's something that is still ongoing. We'll keep sensitizing the general public on the requirements.
What does CAMA 2020 say about filing of the BOR?
Okay, generally, CAMA mandates all companies, limited liability partnerships, to file their beneficial ownership, though the wordings of the law, the wordings of CAMA is persons with significant control, but it has, looking at the PSC regulation, it has the same meaning with the BO beneficial ownership. So the requirement of that CAMA is all persons with significant control in a company are required within 7 days of becoming such to inform the companies of their status. And then the companies are in turn required within 30 days to file the information with the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Okay. Just help us clear it. Some say BOR, Beneficial Ownership Register. Some say persons with significant control. Is there really a difference?
No, it's the same. It has the same meaning. Though specifically the Companies and Allied Matters Act mentions it as persons with significant control. But you know, the law, CAC has the powers to make regulations in terms of issues of clarification, in terms of filing and how other processes can be done. So pursuant to that, CAC passed the persons with significant persons with significant control regulation, which further clarifies and gives an explanation of the definition of persons with significant control to also include beneficial ownership in line with the international legal term. So in the real sense of it, it means the same thing if you look at the definition. So it refers to one and the same thing.
Okay. Since this beneficial ownership register has come on board, what is the level of compliance as far as companies are concerned? If you're going to put it on the scale of 1 to 100, what is the percentage of compliance?
Okay,
Those who have complied so far.
Okay, the percentage, looking at, we started at 15%. It would be good to give a background. We started at about 15%. That was sometime in 2021. And at the moment, as at last month, we have up to about 80% plus compliance. And this is increasing on a daily basis.
So that's an A, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, all right. Okay. So let's go to how this is being done. If we're going to put it on a practical level, people who want to, file and comply with the BOR, how is it done?
Okay, let me give a general explanation on the instances where you have the instances where you can file beneficial ownership information. We have three instances where you file. It could be at the point of filing, at the point of registration, that is for the new companies. And then for the legacy records, that's companies registered prior to 2021, the enactment of the Act. We refer to them as the legacy records. They could file either as fresh filing, like a post-incorporation filing, or they file it alongside their annual returns.
Okay.
So apart from the filing as a new company, all other filing comes as a post-incorporation filing. So for that, we have two processes. Generally, if you want to file post-incorporation processes with the CAC, you will need to use an accredited agent. So, but over time, in addition to that, we have introduced what is referred to as the entity account. So companies themselves can apply to CAC to have registration of their entity account. This gives them a medium to file their post-incorporation processes directly without engaging a lawyer. So like I said, this is also like a post-incorporation process apart from those that are registering it afresh. So you file like any other post-incorporation process, either using the entity account or using an accredited lawyer.
A follow-up to the legacy companies. For companies that have, wind off, or let's say they are dead, how do we use the term that they don't exist anymore? What happened to their information? Is it that they wind up with them as well, or is it that if people come after maybe 10 years, the company has, wind up after 10 years, will that same information be there?
Yes, generally, even if a company has been wound up, our records are public records. So we still have records of all entities that have been registered with the commission. So notwithstanding that a company has been wound up, once the PSC information has been filed, those information will still be stored by the CAC. But remember that where a company has been wound up, the status of the company will be reflected as such on our public register. But that does not stop CAC from giving out information on those companies on request.
What is the level of information that you can get if you come in to do an investigation, aside from the law enforcement agencies? What kind of information will you readily get if you come to say you are investigating this particular company?
That's for the beneficial ownership information?
Yes.
Okay, for the beneficial ownership information, we have the information readily available on the BOR register. You know, sometime in 2023, a public register was launched, and this information is available to the general public and is accessible for free. So, but for the level of information, the Commission is fully aware of the National Data Protection Act. So not all personal identifying informations are not available on the public register. This information are only limited to law enforcement agencies. So for a public user, you can have the name, you can have the service address, the name of the company, the name of the company, the registration number, and then the name of the PSC. So, but any personal identifier informations are not readily available on the beneficial ownership public register.
All right. In this era of hackers, Yahoo, and all of that, how safe are people information, considering the fact that an AI is the one controlling your information at the back end? Are customers and company owners really, safe or happy with such kind of arrangement?
Okay, like I said, the Commission is fully aware of this, the issue of national identity protection, and like we are fully digitized, and our system is fully secured. And this AI that was recently launched, apart from enhancing the quality of service, it also enhances the security aspect of our software.
Okay, so people can go home to sleep.
They can
no cause for alarm.
No cause for alarm.
Their data is safe. So let's go to enforcement and sanctions for erring companies who did not file their BOR, either at any stage, either through registration or post-registration and all of that. How do you make companies to comply in the first place? Before we even go to the sanction, how do you ensure that companies comply?
Okay.
I know there was a task force.
Yes.
That was set up this year.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like you mentioned, we have a task force. The Registrar General has established enforcement units across the 36 states of the Federation. And apart from that, we also have administrative mechanisms to ensure compliance. Like I mentioned, some of this, the filing is tied to the annual return. And CSC has recently been driving compliance with annual return filing. And by implication, if you file your annual return, you have in turn filed, you would have by implication filed your persons with significant control. And as part of the administrative mechanisms that we have, for you to file any post-incorporation process, your annual return must be up to date. So certainly if you've not filed your PSC information or your annual returns, you will not be able to process your post-incorporation. So these are one of the mechanisms that we use internally apart from the sanctions. So, and for the enforcement, we have officers on field. Like I said, 36 states of the Federation who go around to sensitize the public on the requirement of filing and also ensure that they have filed with us and also ensure that these companies maintain their registers as required under the Companies and Allied Matters Act.
What is their experience like?
Well,
the officers on the field.
Well, from the feedback we have, it varies from state to state. So the level of sensitization or awareness varies from state to state, so as well as the level of compliance. But like I said, they serve the role of sensitizing and also ensuring compliance.
When you say varies from state to state, do they give you any kind of report?
Yeah, they do submit.
So what exactly do they tell you?
So for every report, for every on-site inspection, they are required to submit a report back to the compliance department of the commission. And this report generally will give a summary of the compliance level, be it in terms of filing with CAC or record keeping. And a general analysis of that report will give you an idea of. And then there's also a report on the conduct the response of the officers of the respective companies. So this gives us a general idea of the level of compliance and awareness.
So let's go to the sanctions. For somebody like me who has not registered by DOI.
Wow.
I'm just giving an instance.
Yeah.
So what happened to people like us?
Okay, like I said, first you will not be able to process any post-incorporation filing.
Okay.
And then secondly, on sanctions, you'll be penalized depending on the type of company and then the number of officers that you have. So the penalty ranges from 10,000 to 200,000 depending on the type of company. And this is a daily penalty calculated against the number of companies and the number of days of non-conformity.
Aside from that, what other sanctions do you melt out?
Okay, like I mentioned, we do the administrative sanction, and then there are situations where it could lead to maybe...
What does this administrative sanction entail?
I mentioned one, you cannot process any post-incorporation filing.
Okay.
And then there could be a situation where we write to a company to file maybe if a company has been flagged by a financial institution, and then we notify the company of the need to comply, and the company fails to comply with our requirements, a caveat could be placed on the file pending when the company is able to comply with our directive. And this caveat entails that nothing can be done on the file. You cannot obtain any CTC, you cannot file any post-incorporation until you file your PSC and then pay the appropriate penalties.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Well done, Maimuna, for that entertaining interview. Now, take a look at this message on the importance of the PSC filing straight from the Registrar General's desk.
Did you know that it is now mandatory by law for companies to declare all persons with significant control of ownership of company to the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC)? Listen to the Registrar General of the CAC.
By the extant regulation in Nigeria, the identity of the person behind any company must be disclosed.
By virtue of Section 119 and 791 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020 and the Person with Significant Control Regulations of 2022, the law aims to enhance transparency in corporate ownership across Nigeria.
Any person or any individual with ultimate power or with 5% interest holding must disclose his identity.
Under this law, any company that fails to disclose the beneficial owner of its company or the ultimate person in the company who has influence either directly or indirectly, or the person with 5% shareholding and above or voting rights may face serious consequences.
The law required that any person who assumed that position must disclose that position to that company within 7 days. And the company must communicate same and file same to the Corporate Affairs Commission within 30 days.
The identity of the beneficial owner must be a name of a natural person. Failure to comply attracts daily penalties imposed by law.
If it is a natural person, it attracts 5,000 daily from the date of breach. But if it is unnatural person, it requires 10,000 from the day of the breach to the day of compliance, and it also attracts administrative penalties by the Corporate Affairs Commission.
The CAC reserves the right to refuse to receive any filings from any non-compliant company or even to list the company from its register. For more details, check the Person with Significant Control website at bor.cac.gov.ng or visit the Corporate Affairs Commission's official website at www.cac.gov.ng. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
What a wonderful delivery there by the Registrar General. And now, do you know that by the provisions of Section 421, subsection 1 of the CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guarantee or unlimited shall be completed, signed and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting for the year? So have you updated your records with the CAC? We say well done if you have. And you have yet to do that, please hurry now to www.cac.gov.ng to file your return to avoid being struck off. The CAC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to customers in line with global best practices. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram, the address is Corporate Affairs Commission. On Facebook is Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, formerly Twitter, the address is @CSU Nigeria 1. The email service is cservice@csc.gov.ng. And the website address remains unchanged. It is www.csc.gov.ng. The call center number still remains 070-8062-9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, CSC Weekly. Same time, same station. From me, Rashid Mahi, and the whole team is bye for now.